Malignancy detection in breast histoimages using multilayer perceptron. Myself, Mahendra Kanogia. This topic is presented for Soft Computing and Pattern Recognition Conference and a special session of soft computing methodologies and applications in healthcare and pandemic 2020. Contribution of the research, introduction, literature review, data set, research methodologies, all these are going to be outline of today's discussion. The scope of the research is based on histopathological images. So the features of the histopathological images has been extracted, and these features are being given to an ANN based MLP model to detect whether it is malignant or benign. Malignant means cancerous and benign means non-cancerous. There were certain challenges which has been faced for a research under this domain. The first challenge is about the histopathological imagery. So if you can see over here, the histopathological image, if I'll take a laser pointer, so the histopathological image is quite a complex type of image. To identify nucleus from this image is not a simple image processing steps. Then once the nucleus has been detected, the next job becomes to identify the features from the image, which is the second challenge to be worked with, that which features are more suitable to identify the benign or a malignant cell. So the image processing techniques which are available, they are very limited to work with such kind of images. Okay, second problem which face in this domain is the set of data, so the data set availability. So in our research we have also tackled this problem. If you can see for an example over here on my the left hand side over here is the benign tissue and the right hand side is a malignant tissue. So first we need to understand the difference between malignant and a benign tissue. Benign means a non-cancerous tissue. You can see the size of the nucleuses are small and they are quite aligned over the tissue. So this is a tissue image under the microscope of 100 magnification. On the same hand, if you see the malignant tissue, one of the sample which we have picked up, the nucleuses are quite big and they are been spread all over the tissue. This is a major difference is how you can see how a normal cell looks like, a tissue looks like under a microscope, and how a malignant tissue looks like under a microscope. What we have done is we have worked to recognize and distinguish a nuclei in a microscopic histopathological images. So all our image processing techniques is being implied to identify nuclei from the background, and more precisely the background is been removed and all the features are concentrating towards the nuclei. Now from an histopathological image, after a nuclei is been identified, we have extracted all the possible image features which can be trained for the machine learning model, and the machine learning model which we zero down to is MLP, multi-layer perceptron. This multi-layer perceptron categorizes the image, the patient's image which is under study, as in benign or as in malignant. So you can call this as in classification problem. Breast cancer as now 2020 report which has been given by the Global Cancer Observatory is first biggest factor of cancer in women, which shares 11.7% as in new cases. So in 2020 around 11.7% of cases were alone from breast cancer which was recorded, and it is one of the largest share among rest all different type of cancers. So when a cancer is been has been uh, the patient is been thought that it might have in cancer, first the mammogram has been taken up or the physical examination has been done by the doctor. After that, to identify or to confirm the case of cancer, even the stage of cancer, the very important standard clinical practice is to go for histopathological analysis. So after biopsies, the histopathological analysis is done, and the histopathologist is the one who identifies whether the given sample is malignant or benign. This process is time taken, and the identification or the result completely depends on the histopathologist, the expert, and many a time we will find the results or the samples is been studied by multiple histopathologists to zero down to a final judgment whether it is a malignant or benign. So our aim of this research turns out to be to prepare a model which becomes an aid to an histopathologist, so that a multiple opinions are not required. A histopathologist can have its own opinion and also can get a good suggestion or good opinion from the machine itself. To do, we have taken a huge amount of work. We have zero down to around 30 references from the domain which works on breast cancer detection. The 30 references which have used, some of them were used machine learning, image processing techniques which has been used, even the forthcoming deep learning techniques which has been identified, and many of the papers we found those who only work on the features of the cancer. We found that machine learning models are quite promising in the domain of breast cancer detection, and hence we also worked on the various machine learning models, out of which, as you know, as we mentioned, we zero down to multi-layer perceptron. Dataset, the challenge of dataset we have tackled. One rich secondary source of dataset is Berkes, where we have 3,833 images. Some images, like 58 images, we got it from Center for Bioimage Informatics, and we have done a good amount of job to collect around 9,456 images from as a primary data set. This images has been collected from an hospital in Mumbai, Maharashtra, India. The name of the hospital is BACS Hospital. They've been kind enough to allow us to do the research to collect the data samples from the hospital itself. Finally, what we had is 10,033.47, that means 13,347 total images, out of which 7,500 are benign and 5,753 are malignant. Yes, it's evident from this table that the number of benign images are more than the malignant images. The ratio is not very bad, but still the images which respect to the benign are more. So in our research we go by 4 steps, you can say. First, the colored image at 40x zoom, the microscopic histo image has been taken as an input. These images, all the various image processing technique has been applied to precisely identify the nucleus. Such nucleus identified images or the features of the nucleuses has been extracted, all the image related features has been extracted, and a data set has been generated. This data set is given as in a training and testing set to the MLP model to finally come up with a desired accuracy for identification of breast cancer. As been mentioned, the image processing part is more crucial over here. So if on the left hand side you see, we talked about image acquisition to capture the image. Some pre-processing technique is being used, image segmentation to come up with only nucleuses, some post-processing so that the unwanted regions which is included after the segmentation has been removed, and finally the nucleuses has been identified. So the process which we worked with, you can see image A. One second, I'll just change my slide. I will pick up a pen. So the pen is over here. So on the A first, which you can see, this is the original image. This image is my original image, the colored original image. The original image is given first taken as an input. Then this image, if required, is also passed through Gaussian filter. Gaussian filter. So how we came down to Gaussian filter, first we worked with mean filter, then we worked with median filter, and then finally, and also we worked with Gaussian filter. The results with Gaussian filters were best with this kind of images, so we finally selected the Gaussian filter, the smoothing filters, so that the noise, the preliminary noise is been removed. Then the image is converted into HSV image, hue saturation value images. This HSV image is been thresholded further. So you can see the C1 is my thresholded to generate a mask. So this is my thresholded mask, so binary image. This binary image is being further converted into grayscale image. This binary image is converted into grayscale image. Grayscale image is further being noise removed again using the same Gaussian filter. Once this is done, lots of background is being removed. You can evidently see in the image that from the all heterogeneous background, only the nucleus's part are more highlighted. Rest all becomes dark black. On this image, from here the pre-processing steps gets over. Then we come to image segmentation. And for image segmentation, we have used OSTRU method. So this is a result for image segmentation, where we have used OSTRU's global thresholding method. So over here, we have used OSTRU's global thresholding method, the best thresholding method which we found for separating the nucleuses. Once the nucleuses have been separated, further to properly locate the nucleus or nucleus localization, we have used morphological closing reconstruction. As a result, we can precisely identify the nucleus. So all these green color borders are nothing but the nucleus which has been detected. So once again, if I repeat the steps, the image has been taken as an input, then the image is converted into HSV format. Further, this HSV format image is been thresholded to form a mask. This thresholded image is further converted into grayscale image. Grayscale image, to remove a noise, it has been passed through a Gaussian filter. Once it is passed through a Gaussian filter, it is more prominent that all the background noise and all the heterogeneity in the background is being removed. That has been sent further for segmentation. So segmenting what? Segmenting the nucleuses from the background, and we have used OSTR's global thresholding technique. That has been further passed by morphological closing reconstruction to clearly identify the nucleuses. And hence we have a final image where the nucleuses are being located. So the image processing step completes over here. The next step which comes is feature selection. So this image where the nucleus is been selected, the features related to the nucleus were extracted. Our features are in the region of area and shape related features of nucleus, color related features of nucleus, and texture related features of the nucleuses. All these features and the sub features of this categories, we total initially extracted 98 features. We trained our model with the all 98 features, and because initially we wanted to know what is the effect of all the features when we take it and train the model. We found the accuracy to be 85. And then now we wanted to remove the unwanted features, or we want to do a feature reconstruction or a feature reduction technique. So applying PCA and all various technique, we came that the best feature reduction technique which worked with this kind of data set was recursive feature elimination. After applying recursive feature elimination on the data set, what we got is total 48 features. And this 48 features, when was trained with MLP model, we got a desired a good accuracy of 96.77%. So yes, the features, total features which we used in our model are 48, which where we able to get a 96.77% of accuracy. So once a feature is been detected or been removed, we came up with multi-layer perceptron model. Now this model is an important model for us, right? What my model looks like, as it says, it's a multi-layer perceptron model. My multi-layer perceptron model has various type of layers. Now first is my input layer, I have an hidden layer and an output layer. Sorry, in my input layer, as we have selected 48 features, so I have 48 units over here. So the model has 48 units over here. These 48 units are further processed under the final model which we had, having 100 layers, 100 hidden layers. So various combinations of layers were there, and finally what we had is in 100 hidden layers. That was based on the cluster feature analysis. So all this input comes over here. This hidden layer is given the processing after an hidden layer, finally given an input to the output layer. Now in output layer we are only supposed to identify whether the given image is a malignant or benign. In that case we have only two output nodes with the activation function, or you can say even single activation function. Using the activation function here we could identify whether it is benign or whether it is malignant. So binary classification which was taken place over here. So what are the various multi-layer perceptron parameters which we worked with? Definitely we worked with all the various possible parameters and all the various possible values. So it's quite an iterative and a lengthy process it was to come up with the final values of the parameters which really gave and desired accuracy and desired results. The first thing which we worked with was weight optimization. Now weight optimization is required to calculate the appropriate weights to be given to each layer. So when I said here it is input layer, the connections between input layer to hidden layer, the weights over here, among the hidden layers the weights are there, and obviously the weights from the hidden layer to the output layer. So all these weights has to be optimized and appropriate. So to do that we have used a weight optimization technique. Further, to see that our model is not overfitting, to control the overfitting of the model, we have used alpha regularization. Alpha is basically a regularization parameter, and the regularization parameter which we worked with is L2 penalty. Then the hidden layers with the clustering technique was taken care, clustering features, random state. Now random state over here ensures that the training and testing partitions are repeatable. So whatever the training and testing partitions we have made, they are quite repeatable for every epoch. And then the activation function. So all major activation functions were applied, for which we have got the desired result. So the next slide is going to talk about top 5 the comparative values for these parameters, because there were many, so we have listed top 5. So you can see over here in set 1 the weight optimization, we have used two weight optimization technique. One is Cauchy-Newton and second is stochastic gradient descent. Okay, so Cauchy-Newton's with logistic sigmoid activation function. So activation functions used are logistic sigmoid, ReLU, hyperbolic tan. Hidden layers, incrementally we have worked with the hidden layer 60, 70, 80, 90 and 100. Random state was also incrementally went further. So what we saw is after 100 hidden layers, the model accuracy, the model performance was degrading, and the regularization value was 10. So the best result is with the set 5, where our model has a weight optimization technique Cauchy-Newton. So this is our recommendation, that when you are working with MLP model for breast cancer detection using histopathological images, see that the weight optimization is Cauchy-Newton. The activation function which works best is ReLU. We worked with 100 layer for our images, random state at 8 and the regularization value, the LT penalty value at 10, which gave us a accuracy of 96.77. Now the question comes over here is, do we need to believe only on accuracy? Because accuracy definitely is the best predictable value, or you can say the accuracy is going to give us prediction capability of the model. So definitely 96.77 is a good prediction capacity of the model. The one hint over here is our model, our data set was not balanced. So shall we believe only on accuracy value? So no, we have taken the other parameters also. This is the final summary of the model, how the model has been built up. So this steps has been already discussed: the input image, the pre-processing techniques with HSV and Gaussian blur, the segmentation, that is our OS2 segmentation. This output of this has been given to morphological closing reconstruction, which goes to nucleus detected. This detected nucleus, you have extracted a features and created a feature data set, and this feature data set is given to my breast cancer detection multi-layer perceptron model. The multi-layer perceptron model algorithm has been trained to come up this, and this model is finally ready to identify the given input image as benign or malignant. So our results, what results we have produced, let's discuss on what results have we got. So obviously we are working on a classification model. So for us, the classification model was the true value. So we talk about confusion matrix with true and false, true positives and false positives. The true is for malignant. So whenever the cell is malignant, we consider as true, and false is for benign. So as usual, the accuracy is about the true positives and true negative, and we came up with 96.77%. All the values are converted into percentage. The kappa statistics is taken into consideration over here. Now what is in kappa statistics? Kappa statistics is actually a comparison between an observed accuracy and an expected accuracy. What accuracy we have observed and what was the expected accuracy. It's a comparison between them, and the value which turned out to be is 92.65. So it gives a good support to the model. When we talk about sensitivity of the model, it's good. The value of the sensitivity is good. Sensitivity is like, the model is not misclassifying, or it is not misclassifying the malignant as benign. So true as false, because my true is malignant and false is benign. So it is not misclassifying malignant as benign. Yes, it's not doing, the sensitivity is 97.8, which is really a very good value percentage. So our model is not doing this mistake. So if someone is having a cancer, it is not being predicted as not having cancer, which is going to stop the whole treatment process. Specificity is about predicting benign, which is not cancerous, false value for us as benign. So when say benign as benign, this is again an important factor for us, because if a patient is not having a cancer, then my specificity, high specificity rate says that yes, for patient not having a cancer is been predicted as not having cancer with a specificity value of 94.67. Here in our case, as we said, benign as benign, the precision talks about malignant as malignant. The same explanation stands over here. If in case is malignant, it is with 97.42 value, the precision is been taken as malignant. Malignant is been defined as malignant. Recall is about missed malignant. Recall is about missed malignant class. Is basically malignant upon all the samples, malignant sample plus benign sample. So miss malignant class, recall. So yes, we have a good value over here also. When we talk always about precision and recall, the best value which defines both of them together is F1 score. So if you see, it's a better precision and recall score is definitely giving us a better F1 score also. For any machine learning model, ROC above 50% is being accepted. It's found to be a good result, whereas we found an ROC of around 96.23. So it shows that the working of the model is accepted with a good value. So what we discussed, or what we worked in this paper, was we worked with all histoimage processing techniques to detect the nucleus. We worked with primary and secondary data set. We worked with all the features related to area, shape, color and texture. We build up a good multi-layer perceptron model which identifies it as benign or malignant. And all these things, the software which has been, or the research which is done, is towards to depend less on the histopathologist, or to aid a histopathologist to identify cancer. Obviously in the future we are working with a deep learning algorithm, so we plan to come up with better deep learning algorithm for the same breast cancer detection. These are some papers written by us in earlier past, and then which we have also referred in our research journal. So these are few sample of our references. It's always, I wish that a cancer get cancer. Thank you for listening me, myself Mahendra Kanodia, and you can find my website link or my email link in this last slide. Thank you.